Guys, we've just opened up the Blackthornprod Game Dev Bootcamp. Now, what's incredible here is that Liam and I will be personally coaching you during the entire 6 weeks of the bootcamp, teaching you how to make video games with daily message support and live training sessions. You'll be learning how to make video games with a tight-knit squad of ultra-motivated game developers. Now, there's only 30 seats available because we want to take personal care of each and every one of you guys. This is the first time we're doing anything like this, so make sure to secure your spots if you want to end 2025 with a bang and actually become a game developer. The link is in the description with an early bird deal. 5 developers make a video game, but no communication between them is allowed. Welcome back to the Pass the Game Challenge. This is a series where wild experiments are brought to life. We've created Christmas nightmares, tower defenses set in the middle of the ocean, dramatic visual novels, and even giant fantasy open worlds. The theme for this episode, however, is cosmic horror. Will we end up with a crazy Lovecraftian experience or complete buggy mess? Once again, we've got an incredible lineup of talented developers, so without further ado, let's get started with developer number 1.
Hey, I'm Dev, and I'm currently working on an exploration puzzle game called Airborne. Feel free to check out my channel where I post my devlogs. Cosmic horror, or Lovecraftian horror, can be summarized as the fear of the unknown, but in space. After researching, thinking, and planning for a very long time, I landed on a theme: stranded on a planet. I didn't just want to make an alien environment that the player walks on, so I made a whole planet. After implementing some spherical movement logic and smooth camera follow, I ended up with this. But there was a problem. The planet was too flat and boring. So I made a few changes on the planet model by extruding topography and hopefully making things a bit more interesting. I should also note that I changed a little logic to make the spaceship turn instead of moving sideways. However, the game was still missing the horror element, something that makes the planet a threat. I quickly modeled a crater or hole that would appear randomly on the planet. A few random spawn points did the trick, and now we have a hole that attracts the player towards it. It's as if the planet is trying to suck the player in. I also added slight post-processing towards the end to give the game a little personality. I could not spend too much time on the game, as I'm a little busy with college right now, but I believe I've laid a solid foundation for the game. An idea I did not have enough time to implement was the laws of gravity or physics in general to be changed by the planet, creating an extra layer of fear that commands over the player. Anyway, I'm excited to see how the future devs will put their own spin to the game, and thanks a lot to Blackthornprod for the opportunity. Hope you guys enjoyed my contribution.
Hi everyone, I'm IDKBOX and I'm mainly a 2D developer, so opening this 3D project was a bit intimidating for me. Since I don't have much experience with 3D stuff, I decided to just focus on something I'm familiar with, and that's designing a pretty cool UI for the game. But before starting the UI, I wanted to make a few small tweaks. So for some strange reason, the player keeps getting sucked into this hole, and since I don't know what it's for, and I don't have any creative ideas for it, I disabled it temporarily. I also increased the planet size and turned off the lights. And yes, I'm aware that this currently looks like another generic horror game. But hold on, let me try something here. So I wanted to add a ping system that reveals both objectives and enemies. But with a twist, you can't tell which is which until you actually approach it. And some enemies might even react to the ping. But since I don't know how to code the enemies yet, I'll just be making the UI for now. So I sketched out a pretty simple ring-based UI. The compass and ping markers rotate around the ring, and the ping originates from the ring's outline. I also added a motion detected UI. I don't really know what it's for yet, but maybe other devs could use it. And now it's time to actually implement them in Unity. It shouldn't be that hard, right? So simple things like the speed toggle system and the toggleable player light were actually really simple to implement. But the ping system keeps breaking. So it broke when the player rotated around the planet. And at first, I tried rotating the planet instead of the player, but then I realized, yeah, enemy pathfinding would probably be a nightmare on this. So I spent an entire day just debugging this, And finally, I fixed it by converting the calculations to screen space. so it's always pointing towards the correct direction based on where it is on screen. Then, to help players reorient themselves, I also added a compass that always points north, since sometimes the camera can drift a bit. I also added a very simple tutorial and added sound effects to the UI. And finally, I polished the project by adding a title screen, transition manager, pause menu, and some hints for the next devs. Like, I placed a massive cube called enemy_monolith. It literally does nothing, but hopefully this inspires the next devs to create something cool. And that's it. I know I didn't add much content, but hopefully these simple additions can help the next devs. Good luck to them. I can't wait to see the end results.
Okay, great foundation here already, enjoying the atmosphere. I think what we want is to be able to do something with these cubes, deepen the atmosphere, maybe add a story backdrop. And in the first step, let's also add some inertia to the ship physics, make the ship accelerate, decelerate a little bit more smoothly so that we get this immersive feeling of actually being in space. Here I'm demoing it with exaggerated values, so you can see what I mean. When the ship stops, it doesn't stop immediately like in an arcade game, but more slowly. Maybe a bit of an obvious move here, but I took these test cubes and basically made them outposts that are abandoned, spread around the planet a little bit more, and eventually, bit by bit, they reveal the story and lead to this big monolith. By the way, if you have a chance, please go check out Black Dragon Mage on Steam. My indie game is out in early access, and you can go play it right now. Black Dragon Mage on Steam. But first I added also a VFX layer to the ping system. We had this nice 2D ping animation in the UI going, and then on top of that I added a 3D layer controlled by a shader so that it follows the silhouette of the environment actually and reveals it in this quite nice way. Here I'm playing with the controller to show off the actual effect, which is just coroutine running and scaling up the controller whenever you hit the ping. So this is what it looks like in the game. I think it looks quite neat and fits in with the rest of the aesthetic. And then to add some function to these outposts, I implemented a system that allows us to look at logs in these abandoned stations, which are written by different people at these outposts. First one is written by an atmospheric engineer who observed weird readings. People on the station started having weird dreams, all in tune with this Lovecraft, Alien, Event Horizon kind of cosmic horror theme. So everybody's kind of flipping out at these stations, and we reveal the story from different perspectives as we visit each outpost and read those logs. So while we read those logs, we hear these chopped up UI sounds that are being played at random whenever a character appears during the text animation. And the text animation and the content itself are formatted here in this scriptable object. So we have a color formatting going and a little bit of an animation formatting with the shake effect at certain areas that we'd like to stress. So the second log is by the nanomedic and the final one is by the security officer. And you witness the story evolve through the eyes of these people.
Hey, I'm Byte of Michael. I make game dev content here on YouTube, all while working on my indie roguelike deck builder called Castlemancer. Now, this is my third time in a Blackthornprod Pass the Game challenge. Is it easier? No. Am I more confident? Also no. Anyway, I literally only had like 3 days to work on this, so I really had to get moving. I get the project files and I do a little playthrough. First thoughts, man, I'm probably the least talented game dev out of this entire lineup, because the previous devs absolutely knocked it out of the park. I mean, look at this ping animation. That's so sick. So far, it seems like as the player, I'm navigating a ship around a planet, investigating various abandoned outposts with clues on what happened there. And the last series leads to a big monolith, which I guess is where I'm supposed to add stuff. Okay, so a lot of the systems are already built. So since this is a horror game, I felt like my job was to add suspense. And my mind immediately went to the Alien movies. Those movies do such a great job at building suspense, even when you know what the creatures are, can do, and look like. So I first added something I called hallucinations or paranoia, and I tried to align this with the stories that the other devs already added. Basically, as you're going around investigating these abandoned outposts, these little orb guys start to creep up on you. But if you get too close, they'll dash away. Probably nothing, right? Then I added some additional story related to the monolith, an abandoned research vessel, which I'm gonna not totally spoil for you, which after a series of hallucinations and paranoia after investigating those outposts leads to what every horror game needs, a good chase scene. Chase scenes are good for horror genres because essentially it makes the player powerless other than trying to outrun whatever is chasing you. And oh look, it's the orbs. And I actually made these guys pretty difficult to run away from, where when I was testing it, I actually lost a couple times. And basically you have to outrun these orbs until you're done calculating coordinates you found earlier. I added some other nice effects like glass breaks if your ship gets hit, a warning sign, a defeat menu, and a nice little hyperspace jump. Overall, I didn't have a ton of time to add stuff, but I think it's, becoming a nice kind of little micro game. Now, if you're into deck builders, consider checking out my indie game where you literally drag your cards into the game world. It's called Castlemancer. It's over on Steam. That's all, and thanks.
Hi there. I'm SlobbyMonk. And I am the last dev. Last dev. Since I was a last dev and the core game was already pretty solid for a demo of the game, I didn't really want to add anything new. So I instead played through the game a couple of times and noted things down that were missing and just things that I could improve. Since that's pretty boring to list, I'm just going to list them, but I'm only going to list the interesting ones. Hi, welcome to my presentation. This is what I did. Okay, so the first thing I did is I had like a bunch of tip things, like press space to skip ahead. Fun. Right. Then, what was this? I had a CRT effect. Yes. I added stars. Look. Stars. What did I do? I add models. It needed models. It has models. It has a spaceship. It's like another spaceship. I think that's supposed to be a satellite dish. That was my presentation. So, since I had some time left over, I decided to do something I haven't seen before in these challenges. I decided to make a trailer. So, I wrote down what makes the game unique, and then made a script out of it, and this is a trailer.
Oh, okay, they changed the ping system. Oh, okay.
Looks scary too. I love the graphics. It really gives me PS3 vibes.
Oh my god, the ambience. Oh my god. Oh, okay, flickering lights. Oh my god, what is that? What are
those cells that are following you? Ping into the void. I'm guessing that's the name of the game. It was definitely very different from what I had in mind. I was very surprised, especially the story mode. I'm not sure who added the story mode, but whoever did, that was an amazing addition.
And ping. Oh, okay, I really like the new ping visual animation. Like, oh my gosh.
Parse data. Someone added a whole story mode. That is amazing. Wow. Okay. Nice.
I put in just the first couple of logs, and I don't know who put in the final log. And I was so glad that you took the story and went with it and completed the whole thing. It was such a nice passing of the torch.
Oh, okay. This is awesome.
And from reading this, I feel like whoever came up with this knows their stuff. I mean, this is scientifically very hard for me to understand, at least.
I just decided to make a trailer. Okay, the story could be like restructured a bit, so it like starts very intense with the chase, and then it like goes back down. That's what I wanted to do for the game, but I was like, okay, it's too short right now to really do that, so I was just going to do it in a trailer basically, and that trailer is basically how I wanted the game to be in the final form.
What the hell? Okay, there's like a satellite dish somewhere. Oh my god, what is that? Ooh, okay, someone modeled this.
Oh, this one's a whole build? Wow, this is an amazing model. Props to whoever made this.
Do you have any ideas of expanding or improving this game?
I really wanted like the planet to be more of the enemy than like an external force.
What the hell? Okay. Where's the coordinates? What the heck?
Oh, anomalies detected. All right, I've got to run. Are they following me? Oh, they're definitely following me. Oh, okay. I did not know They were that fast.
I also love your idea about making the planet more of an entity and making that the center thing, like the Cthulhu eternal god that very slowly wakes up throughout the story, and everybody feels it, everybody dreads it. You don't know what's gonna happen, everybody's going nuts. So that would also be really cool.
I don't know what that is, but I cannot outrun it. I cannot run. It's getting closer. It's getting closer.
The controls are very hard. I feel like I should not be saying that since I'm the one who made them.
Ouch.
There was this game called Eternal Darkness where you had this sanity meter which affected how you would eventually hallucinate, and at some point your character's head would just fall off. Cleanly fall off. You were like, what happened? I didn't do anything. And then you snapped back into reality and realized, oh, I'm hallucinating actually. This is the Lovecraftian horror part. But I really like this idea of messing with the player's perception. I don't think it's being done all that much.
I wonder if this is the same model that I made, but with different textures for the planet.
Please, it's catching up. Yeah. Jump! Yes!
Oh, this is like Interstellar.
Generally very excited about how this project went. Very cool.
Quick reminder that enrollments to the Blackthornprod Game Dev Bootcamp have just started, so if you want to be personally coached by myself and Noah, go ahead and check out the link in description.